We wanted to share with you our system that has helped us eat our best and have our best health and happiness day after day, week after week, and now for me, year after year, and even for you,
Year after year. Many years now.
year. Yes. And it is an affectionately misused term, uh,
Mise en place.
mise en place. So, remember reading about this term when I was trying to learn how to cook and learn about food and nutrition, and I just kept hearing about it. And so the real term is meant to, in a French professional kitchen, or even for advanced cooks and chefs in France, is having everything prepared ahead of time before you create it.
Yep.
So there would be a lot of assistant, like, is it sous chef?
Sous chef, yeah.
Sous chef, chopping in like the perfectly
chopped pieces,
symmetrical and unified pieces to make their different roux and sauces, and so everything would be in place before the chef went in and created the masterpiece for it.
Everything would be in place.
And place. And so it wasn't until several years in my personal journey of becoming as healthy as I could possibly be, and then accidentally the happiest I've ever been, that I, looking back, realized, oh my gosh, I have created my own mise en place by just having a system. Because the key to my success has been always having nutrient dense food at the ready for when I'm hungry. So before this, what was so different is I would become hungry and then go searching for food, and my hunger always just won over my brain. And so I would just take something from the shelf, cereal, something that I could, chips that I could eat right away because I was hungry. Or I would call for takeout, or
that was me.
Yes.
And peanut butter.
Peanut butter, yes. I did that a lot. Just peanut butter on a banana, which later I realized is really a lot of insulin going into my system, because bananas have so much sugar, and then the peanuts do as well. So, do you think that she's okay?
Yeah, she's fine.
Our little assistant, Layla, is adding her ideas about mise en place. But, so what happened is, looking back now, because I made a lot of mistakes when I first started this routine, like, I didn't take out food to be thawed, and so I'd be like, oh my gosh, like, I have nothing to eat, because I was committed. I was absolutely committed to only eat real food that was nutrient dense, that I knew the history of it. And so without taking it out to thaw, it was frozen, and I'm like, what do I do now? So it was only a few times of having nothing available, which is something we wanted to share with you too. Our refrigerators look nothing like our refrigerators from the past.
No.
So there are no labels. There's nothing that's pre-made. There's no plastic bottles with sauces or
ingredient.
There's just nothing in there except for what we've prepared, or rendered fat that we made ourselves, or fresh leafy greens from the garden or from a farmer. So it looks, all of our lacto fermented foods that are in our own glass jars, all of this looks completely different than what our refrigerators look like in the past. But with that transformation has come the transformation of how we feel and how our bodies perform, and just the pure joy that we experience every day. So with this system that we have now, where everything is in place and we have this routine that we do every day, we have been able to really, I would say, seamlessly or really quickly and easily provide ourselves with the most delicious, the most nutritious, the most nutrient dense food every single day. One thing I just wanted to add is that in the beginning, I'll tell you about that. It was really different and overwhelming. But if I went back in time, I never would have expected to, well, there were several things, but that we don't need to eat as much. So really, like, we have not eaten, it's almost midday.
Oh yeah.
Like 1
I haven't even
o'clock.
thought about the
We
fact that we
neither
haven't
one of
eaten
us
yet.
have thought about food. So when we get up, we just drink our mineral rich water right from the beginning.
Mhm.
And ideally we'll eat like 2 or 3 in the afternoon, probably for, because it's so enjoyable, like an hour.
I'll have my Soleil water too.
Oh yeah, he has Soleil. I have
Yeah.
to get better about that in the morning. And so that this whole system is so liberating, for time, for how our body performs. And so we just wanted to share with you this idea of mise en place, because it does take a different system than, especially here in the United States, that any of us grew up in, or even our system of the way we grocery shop and find food, and the food that's available. It doesn't set us up for eating success. And so it's really, we've just had to create our own system, but we really have done it in a way that allows us to be super active, not spend a lot of time creating recipes and cooking things. And that is really surprising when you think of our homemade food every single day.
See, I remember before this, with processed foods that come in a box or a bag or something, they just kept accumulating and growing. I wouldn't go through it all before I replaced it with something else, like a similar thing. And so we don't have that clutter in our home that I used to, at least, because here it's just perishable food. And
It is.
yeah,
Yes,
there's
it is
nothing
perishable.
shelf stable here
We
except
don't
for
have
maybe
any cupboards.
like my sweet potatoes or something like that. Onions.
I just realized,
Yeah.
we don't have any cupboards either, which is
Yeah.
a big change. The same was for me because, and when Bezad was speaking, thank you for sharing that. When I would open the cupboard and just see the things that I hadn't touched in many months,
Yeah.
it was really depressing,
It was.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I wasn't aware of it, but with every unused product, I especially regret all of the fresh produce that I never got around to eating.
Yeah.
And that happened quite frequently each week, because I would be so hungry, because I would restrict my calories during the day, and then I would just give in to chips.
Yeah.
And the chips tasted so much better than an apple or something. And so then
So we thought.
Yeah, so
Well,
we
the apples
thought.
are
Yes.
not very appley nowadays at the grocery store.
That's gonna be in future shows where we'll talk about that. But the mise en place is so fulfilling. It's such an amazing system, and really all it is just being prepared. So instead of looking for food when we're hungry, it's knowing that we're going to be hungry and properly preparing for that hunger that's coming up. So we just, like I said, it starts the night before.
Mm-hmm.
We visit, well, it's usually Bezad now because he's so sweet. I'm usually so tired. And he goes out and brings the dogs at the very end of the day. He'll bring the dogs out for the last time and he'll go grocery shopping in our freezer, which is down. We're up in the third floor, so he goes down to where our freezers are.
In the garage, yeah.
And we talk about it before he goes down, and so both of us are thinking, okay, what's in the refrigerator right now that we still have to eat? Because we have a lot of leftovers. What haven't we had in a while? Every single night we bring in a frozen broth.
Mm-hmm.
And
I don't come back with extra stuff from the grocery store.
But then we just put everything in the sink and
Yep.
let it thaw overnight. And then in the mornings, we just either put it in the fridge if we're going to cook it later, or we actually put it in the oven if we're going to slow cook it all day. And so the process is just so easy and really takes just a few minutes of
Mm-hmm.
getting the food on its food journey
Yeah.
on the way to our stomach. Another thing is, and I think this is key, but you tell me what you think about this, is really having laser focus. So having laser focus on the nutrients to be the healthiest person possible, to have this advantage in performance and thinking, that is the focus.
Mm-hmm.
That's where Toxi-Free came from, because Toxi-Free is all about protecting those nutrients. We'd always be hungry until we receive the nutrients we needed. It's not easy to find nutrients anymore. And so protecting those valuable nutrients, that's the center of all of this. And so by when before I got to the laser focus, I was just trying all sorts of different recipes, and because I was learning, I had to learn how to cook, I had to learn about nutrition, I had to just learn everything. So I every book I read would talk about equipment, and I would go through the equipment list and I would purchase all the equipment. So I had every single
What was
kitchen
the
gadget.
one, the lard?
I had a larder needle, which actually was useful. And that was one of the last things that I sold off. I sold all of my kitchen gadgets on eBay eventually, but it took me a few years to know that I don't need any of that. And it actually was distracting me and getting me in the way, and it was causing obstacles to my success.
Yeah.
So just by having to take out a big like food processor and unwind the thing and then find the recipe and then worry about the plastic of the food processor and how it would heat up, and I'm like, I know there's toxins going into my really great nutrients, and just all of these things that slowly, what it did for me is slowly whittled away to where this has become just the bare minimum. We don't have any drawers hiding anything. Everything you see in here is what we use, and it is like the top Olympian, to me, the top Olympian kitchen gallery or cooking gallery for nutrient dense food and natural living in the whole universe. Because it is so simple and so focused on the nutrients, and it's just toxin free cookware. It is simple, all metal, large chef knife and a paring knife and a scissors that's actually an all metal office scissors. But I have found after trying lots of different scissors that the office scissors that's all metal actually works the best. We usually just sell these on Toxi-Free to provide a service for you. And then we just have it on the wall so that it's always there. It has a metallic wall tool
Magnet.
magnet, and so everything just sticks to it. I don't know if you can hear that, but that's the small paring knife. So all we have to do is grab, cut, put it back, and it's right there. And this, what would you say, honey? 6 feet or 8 feet?
6 feet actually.
6 feet of kitchen galley, like a kitchen galley. Is that what they call it? Like on a boat or something?
Mm-hmm.
Is, if you knew what this produced, it produces the most amazing liver pate and roast and ribs, back ribs like you've never experienced, and salmon bacon and salmon and homemade rendered fat and chicken skins deep fried in the homemade rendered fat and microgreens that we grow ourselves to top, and the homemade bone broth and the wild lacto fermented foods that go year round. Like, all of this happens right here with the most minimal amounts of cooking vessels and tools. They're all toxin free, and this has just been what has liberated and created the best success. And I think it's because, and I can't wait to hear what Bezad thinks about this, but I think it's because of the laser focus, nothing getting in the way, there's no friction, no obstacles being caused, there's no overwhelm or just dropping on the couch in exhaustion. I'm too tired to face the kitchen. I'm too tired to face cooking something.
Yeah.
I've had a really long, exhausting day. All I want to do is eat and have my stomach full and feel nourished and just, be done with it. Having everything, a system in place, is what has allowed me. I have not had any of those days for over 10 years. And my whole life up until then was those days. Every single day I woke up with the best intention, and I ended the day in exhaustion with a stomach aching, waking, feeling tired, feeling lethargic. I know I didn't want to get up the next day. I mean, night and day.
Absolutely. Yeah. For me too. Gosh, waking up really hungry, like your stomach would hurt.
Yes.
And used to needing caffeine and but now it's just water, and it's just so easy, and I don't even think about food until midday when it's time to eat once, and I'm fine to go to bed. And it's just, after a meal, how you're weighed down a little bit. Well, that only happens once a day, but not really so weighed down after that. I mean, you do relax a little bit after the meal, but it's not like how it used to be, where there were 3 times that you would have to
go up
slow
and down.
Yeah, exactly.
And there are so many proven health benefits where your body needs, I think, 12 to 16 hours to truly repair, and it's called some term, autophagy or something like that. Please just write it. All of you know the word. But where our cells have that, they need that amount of time. And so this is like accidental intermittent fasting, where we don't try at all. And
right.
There's no when you eat really highest quality nutrient dense food, there's none of the stomach aches that I suffered with, or the just like feeling weighed down. I don't ever feel like that after eating.
No.
So it's like there's just the benefits just compound and multiply, like from all different directions, and then you just soar in life with the the joy and the health of it.
You know, one thing I noticed in our mise en place, like the decoration as well, is very important. Um, just to go over some of that. Um, I love this. How, for instance, we have beautiful nature art throughout here. You put up those birch bark hearts shapes, and
This is from the front yard. We had a birch tree limb
yeah,
fall.
and up there is carved. We also have a carved piece of wood that spells love, and those
Bezod made
things.
that.
Yep, I made that. But these things are important. So right by the sink, above the sink, we don't have much here. We have one dish brush. We have a bottle brush. We have our natural organic bamboo scraper if we need to scrape something off. We have a little nail
Oh,
brush.
and
Yeah, the bottle.
remember these brushes?
Oh, all
Um,
natural.
yeah, they don't have any plastic bristles, which is hard to find because those plastic bristles, they shed microplastics into your pans and food, and they even fall to the floor. So, yeah, this is
Yeah.
more nature here.
Yeah, and just like a little timer, a little nail brush, a little cute little dustpan. And then there's also a fry pan. It's a 11.5 inch fry pan, so it's not small, and that all fits right above the sink, and it looks gorgeous. And then we have a little mini fridge, and I mean, we just have a few cutting boards, measuring cups and spoons. Our this is important right here: the finishing salt and the three different kinds of fat. Um, Having that out all the time makes it so easy, doesn't it? To
It's so
get to
fast.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're always cooking and on the go, and then we have a small stove, and we just have that magnetic wall strip. We have a paring knife. We went through that earlier. The chef knife, and then we have just a few other utensils, scissors and stuff. And so it's really simple. It's we have everything at our fingertips. Um, you
The,
don't need much.
no, and it allows for like the decor, like creating it into a collage because everything is natural. Like even the cleaning brushes are just so beautiful. So this is just part of the decor. There's no drawers here where things are just thrown in.
No.
And it also serves the purpose of having the measuring cups, of having the dish brush right there when you need it. So even the cleanup is fast, easy, effortless. It's right at your fingertips. You don't have to sit and think about where is that cleaning brush and
No.
open a drawer and hunt for it and remember to be careful of like cutting yourself with some other tool in there. I mean, I can't recommend this enough for the success that it's brought to our home here.
Totally. Yeah.
The other thing, unless there was something
No.
you wanted to say, that has really become part of mise en place for me because not that long ago, what, 6 years, 5 years, something like that, I was doing this on my own, and I'd done that for 5, 7 years on my own.
Mm-hmm.
But what's really cool now is how we work together. And it's so Bezod is really super talented at cooking the food, and it's like an art for him. I mean, tell me, I'm speaking for you, and you're right here, but it's really fun to watch him. He's so creative, and I can tell he loves it. He just jumps in there. And then my genius was creating the system. So I like follow behind him and like clean the stuff
Clean
and
up
put it
after
back.
me.
No. I think we
It's
work
true though.
really well as a team because then I'm cleaning and putting stuff away, which I'm good at, like organizing and everything. And my least favorite is the actual standing over the stove. So
Mhm.
I like being more creative in the space and having everything be really inspiring
Yeah.
looking and things like that. So, and then when we're in here together, we're part of the mise en place
Mhm.
because we're part of the system, and we just really have some of our best moments here talking, working together, being creative together, enjoying the incredibly delicious food together,
Yeah.
um, laughing, joking, playing with our dogs because they love watching anything food related.
Big time.
Yes. And so it like I said before, it has so many layers of benefits and health and joy, for everything: physical, mental, spirit,
All of it.
relationship.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm so lucky.
Me too.
Is there anything else you think that would be helpful?
No, I mean, just having your kitchen set up for success so that you can do things quickly. We went over the refrigerators and bringing in food at night so that everything is always in its place.
Mm-hmm.
And having everything where you can grab it easily. I mean, not having shelves and cupboards, that is key. When you don't have those things, you get creative about how to hang things on the wall and so that it's always there to grab. And you have fewer things, which you don't need that many things. So
Yes.
those are the keys.
Totally. And as Bezad was talking, I was realizing how influenced I was by Julia Child. So
I
if
was
you,
gonna mention that.
yes, like if you watch any of her cooking show or even the movie Julie
In
and
Julia.
Julia, uh, or even just the Julia parts, you'll see in there when she's in her small little kitchen when she's learning how to cook going to the culinary institute, it is tiny,
Mm-hmm.
and everything is there. And Paul's writing a letter talking about how it's like watching a great conductor of a symphony because she's joot, 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 joot. And that is so often what we feel like. Everything's in arm reach. We just are quickly moving things around, and it's fun and easy. And then when she moves back to the US and you see the kitchen that's actually in the Smithsonian, right?
Yep.
You'll see everything like on the wall, like painted. So
Yeah.
there's an outline so you know where to put the tool or the pans.
Where you took it from, yeah.
Right. And so,
That's like master level black belt mise en place. We're not there yet with the outlines and stuff. But we don't
No.
need it. It's too small.
Yeah,
We're much smaller and
we are
less.
smaller.
Yeah, we don't have that many utensils to keep track of.
And I just want to end with that you don't need any special skills either. All you need is practice. And I didn't know how to do any of this. For 20 years, I had kitchen gadgets and kitchen, like, large, expensive items.
Yeah.
Even my oven and stove that was never used. Ever. It was like brand new. I didn't have to clean it. I didn't have to do anything because I didn't know how to use it at all. And so if I am here now
Yep.
and able to do this, you can do this too. And what's so wonderful is this is our birthright. When you finally nourish yourself on the deep human cell level that we all crave, you will be rewarded with the ultimate health and wellness and feeling of ecstatic joy, and you
Mm-hmm.
will reach your self actualization, which is up there, and you will just be so liberated. So I can't wait for you to experience that as well.
Totally. That was awesome.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, honey.
Thank you.